13-25. 1ch14. 13-16. During his reign David fought numerous other battles with the Philistines and succeeded in subduing them. On one occasion, however, he nearly lost his life. 2-8. 1. 21. 15-22. 1ch18. 1. 20. 4-8. From Solomon's reign onward. For years after that there is no record of warfare with the Philistines. David's son Solomon enjoyed a peaceful reign 1037-998 BCE and his dominions extended as far as the Philistine city of Gaza. 1 Chi 4. 21-25. 2ch9. 26. Some 20 years after the 10-tribe kingdom came into existence, the Philistines occupied Gibbethon, a city in Dan. While trying to take the city, Israel's king Nadab was killed by Baasha, who subsequently began to reign as king. Jos 19. 40, 44. 1 Chi 15. 27, 28. Gibbethon was still under Philistine control some 24 years later when Omri, army chief of Israel, encamped against it. 1 Chi 16. 15-17. While Jehoshaphat reigned 936 c. 911 BCE the Philistines were evidently subject to him, for they brought gifts and tribute. 2ch 17. 11 But, during the Rulotextoi Acute Miritra Longo, Philologus 634, however, a larger fulfillment evidently came after the Israelites returned from the Babylonian exile. Notes commentator C.F. Keel. Alexander the Great and his successors set many of the Jewish prisoners of war in their lands at liberty. Compare the promise of King Demetrius to Jonathan, I will send away in freedom such of the Judeans as have been made prisoners, and reduced to slavery in our land, Josephus, Ant. 13. 2, 3, and portions of the Philistine and Phoenician lands were for a time under Jewish sway. Commentary on the Old Testament, 1973, Volume X, Joel, p. 224. Compare Arb 19, 20. Noteworthy, too, is the fact that Alexander the Great took the Philistine city of Gaza. Many of the inhabitants were slain, and the survivors were sold into slavery. A number of other prophecies likewise pointed to the execution of Jehovah's vengeance upon the Philistines. Isra 14. 31. J 25. 9, 20. 47. 1-7. Es 25. 15, 16. Am 1. 6-8. Zep 2. 5. Zek 9. 5-7. For details see Ashdod, Ashkelon, Ekron, Gath, Gaza number 1. At Ezekiel 16. 27. The daughters of the Philistines are depicted as being humiliated on account of Jerusalem's loose conduct. Es 16. 2. The reason for this appears to be that Jerusalem's unfaithfulness to her God Jehovah was without parallel, for the Philistines and other peoples had held fast to the worship of their false gods. Compare J 2. 10, 11. Philologus phi middle.lol o middle.gus fond of words learning. A Christian whom Paul greets in his letter to the Romans. Row 16. 15. The same name is found on inscriptions associated with the household of Caesar. Philosophy. The Greek word phi middle.lo middle.so middle.phi means, literally, love of wisdom. In modern usage the term relates to human endeavors to understand and interpret through reason and speculation the whole of human experience, including the underlying causes and principles of reality. The Greek words for philosophy and philosopher each occur only once in the Christian Greek scriptures. Col 2. 8. Acts 17. 18. Evidently when Paul wrote to the congregation at Colossae in Asia Minor, some there were in danger of being affected by the philosophy and empty deception according to the tradition of man. Greek philosophies were then quite prominent. But the context of Colossians 2. 8 shows that of special concern to Paul were Judaizers who were trying to bring Christians back to observing the Mosaic law with its required circumcision, festival days, and abstinence from eating certain foods. Col 2. 11, 16, 17 Paul was not opposed to knowledge, for he prayed that Christians be filled with it. But, as he showed, one must appreciate the role of Jesus Christ in the outworking of God's purpose in order to obtain true wisdom and accurate knowledge. Col 1. 9, 10. 2. 3 The Colossians were to look out lest perhaps someone with persuasive arguments carry them off as prey through a human way of thinking or outlook. Such a philosophy would be part of the elementary things swamiddle.ka of the world, that is, the principles or basic components and motivating factors of the world, and not according to Christ. Col 2. 4, 8. When in Athens Paul had an encounter with the Epicurean and the Stoic philosophers. Acts 17. 18 They termed the apostle a chatterer, using the Greek words pymiddle.no-middle.logos, which literally applies to a bird that picks up seeds. The word also carries the thought of one who